Okay, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. That little jolt you get when you see a chargeback notification. If you're in e-commerce, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But what if I told you the whole game is about to change? Visa's rolling out a huge update, and honestly, it could turn that whole frustrating process into a massive opportunity. So let's break down what's coming and how you can actually use it to your advantage.
Just imagine for a second. Instead of constantly playing defense, reacting to every customer dispute and chargeback that comes your way, you're actually on the offense. You're heading off issues before they even have a chance to blow up. Now, this isn't some fantasy scenario. This is the real, game-changing opportunity that's right at the heart of Visa's new rules. So, how in the world do you make that shift from being reactive to being proactive? Well, it all starts with a big change in the rules of the game. Let's dive right into Visa's new ecosystem rules and see how they're totally rewriting the playbook on handling risk. To put it simply, Visa is basically taking its separate programs for fraud and for disputes and smashing them together into one single global system. And why are they doing this? Well, the goal is to create a much smoother and, more secure experience for everybody involved, from the person holding the card all the way to your business. It's all about ironing out the wrinkles in the payment process. And this new all-in-one program, it's got a name, it's called VAMP. That stands for the Visa Acquirer Monitoring Program. It's built specifically for online sales, or what the industry calls card-not-present transactions. You're definitely going to want to circle this date on your calendar because it all kicks off on June 1st, 2025. All right, so you know what VAMP is. You know when it's coming. But the real question is, how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine of this thing, the specific rules and numbers that are going to determine whether you succeed or struggle. It really all boils down to one single number: your VAMP ratio. And the formula, you can see it right there, is actually pretty simple. You just take your total number of fraud cases and disputes, and you divide that by your total transactions for the month. That one number tells you exactly where you stand with Visa. But hang on, this is where it gets really interesting. Visa is actually building in a reward for businesses that are proactive. See, certain things are excluded from that VAMP ratio calculation. So if you use one of their pre-dispute tools to solve an issue, or you win a fraud case with compelling evidence, guess what? Those cases basically vanish from your record. It's a huge incentive to get out in front of problems. So what's a good score? Well, Visa's laid out some really clear thresholds. You hit the above standard level once you get to 50 basis points. Now, quick translation. A basis point is just 1/100%. So 50 basis points is 0.5%, or 0.5%. That means for every 10,000 sales you make, you can have up to 50 disputes. But the real danger zone? That's the excessive level. This is the number you need to remember: 70 basis points. That's 0.7%. If you cross this line, you're officially in the excessive category, and that is what triggers a whole cascade of fees and penalties. This is the red zone, and you absolutely need a strategy to stay out of it. Now, the good news is Visa isn't trying to play gotcha here. If you do happen to slip into that red zone, they give you a 3-month grace period to get your act together. So as you can see, the clock starts ticking in month 1. You've got 2 more months to fix things, but by month 4, if your VAMP ratio is still too high, that's when the penalties start hitting. Okay, so we've looked at the risks, we've identified the red lines. The big question now is, how do you actually stay on the right side of that 70 basis point threshold? Well, the answer lies in this really powerful suite of tools that Visa has developed to help you do exactly that. The name of the game here is making that shift from defense to offense, from being reactive to being proactive. And your playbook for making that happen is Visa's set of tools called Verify Solutions. This is how you get ahead of disputes and keep that VAMP ratio looking healthy. Let's walk through how this actually works. So a customer sees a charge they don't recognize. Right away, a tool called Order Insight gives the bank all the transaction details. A lot of times, that alone solves the problem. But let's say a dispute still gets filed. That's when Rapid Dispute Resolution, or RDR, kicks in and automatically issues a refund based on rules you've already set. The result? The dispute gets deflected, the customer is happy, and your VAMP ratio is totally safe. And the difference here is, well, it's just staggering. I mean, look at this. The old way of dealing with a chargeback could take up to 24 times days. The new way, with Rapid Dispute Resolution, 1 second. That's not just an improvement, it's a complete revolution in how this works.
But is this really effective? Get this. Just by using Order Insight to give banks and customers more detailed information right up front, you can deflect up to 65% of disputes. Think about that. That's almost 2/3 of your potential headaches, just gone. That is a massive, massive win for your VAMP ratio.
So we've seen how these tools can help you stay out of trouble. But what if we stopped looking at this as a problem to be avoided and started seeing it as an opportunity to grab? What if this was about more than just dodging penalties? What if it was about actually winning the chargeback game?
When you go on the offense like this, the benefits are just undeniable. Of course, you'll lower your VAMP ratio, which means lower operational costs and no painful fees. But it's about more than just money. You're creating a way better customer experience, which builds loyalty, and it keeps you in good standing with Visa's rules. It's a win-win-win. If there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this right here. The source material says it perfectly. Pre-disputes resolved with a credit don't count against your dispute ratio. In other words, when you use these tools to solve a customer's issue before it becomes an official dispute, it's like it never even happened. This is your golden ticket for thriving in this new VAMP world. And so that really leaves us all with a choice. Are you going to keep seeing disputes as just a cost center, an annoying, unavoidable part of doing business? Or are you going to start seeing them for what they can be? A chance to provide amazing customer service, to build real loyalty, and to turn a huge pain point into a competitive advantage. The new VAMP rules have drawn a line in the sand. Which side are you going to be on?